New York, and on the new Hot 97 app. Ebro in the morning on Hot 97.
People were waiting for Kanye's album to drop yesterday, but it didn't. He tweeted 6 hours ago, "To my fans, thank you for being loyal and patient. We're specifically fixing mixes on Everything We Need, Follow God and Water," which are songs on his album. He's like, "We're not going to sleep until this album is out." So the world's still waiting.
All right, my G.
Why can't they do it? Why has he lost the ability to finish an album?
So yesterday was
Do you want to address Rosenberg's question, or you want to?
Oh, I was just trying to.
You got time. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
We got time.
Okay.
So remember, there used to be like a management team around Kanye West.
Mm-hmm.
We've known several of Kanye's managers over the years. The reason why Kanye was so great was because, and is so great as an artist and a musician, just like many artists, is because they have a team around them that actually helps refine their creativity into a digestible space for the rest of us who don't think like them.
Mm-hmm.
Kanye, clearly, we've known Kanye behind the scenes. We've always known that Kanye was all over the place and then would land in an awesome space with the music.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a lot that went into getting it into that space. Now he leads it all. In the past, he was sorting to, whether it was people like Plain Pat, Al Branch, G. Roberson, hip hop. There was a number of people that have helped Kanye get his things across the line and hit deadlines. You see what I'm saying?
Of course.
And then complicate that with being a dad and being a husband and running a probably $1 billion fashion business, right? If you don't have teams that help you hit those deadlines and people that you're allowing to help you get things across the line, you run late.
Things like this happen.
It's just what it is. You run late.
So yesterday, we had the interview with Zane Lowe, and Kanye touched on a couple of topics like his future presidential run. He plans to run for president in 2024, and here's some audio.
I don't know if I should even talk anymore. It's like, you guys...
What do you mean? I got so much more to ask you. I just flew to Wyoming. I got so much more to ask you. It might be 5 more years before I get to speak to you.
I don't know.
You might be president by the time I speak to you next. Do you know how I'm going to be on the pecking order when you're president? You write down.
No, we'll do an interview.
We'll do an interview.
I don't do a lot of interviews anyway.
I know you don't. It's good to see you again.
I'll probably do more interviews when I'm president.
2024 is still a thing? That's the time frame?
We're working on some things right now. So
yeah.
At one point, he says, when he wins the election, quote, he says, "I'll remember any founder that didn't have the capacity to understand culturally what we're doing." It's unclear what founders, but he did mention Twitter and Facebook's Jack Dorsey and Mark Zuckerberg.
And what does he mean culturally what we're doing? Who is the we in culturally what we're doing?
The family.
That's what I'm asking. Is he saying what Kanye is doing, or is he saying what the right is doing? Is he saying what the Trump administration is doing?
Whoever's in line with what he's doing.
Okay.
Whoever lines up for that.
Well,
is
it's
the we.
going to be a bad spot for the old Ebro in the morning team.
Why is that?
Because we are not in line with what we're doing. Whatever is being done, we're not.
It might not be political. Maybe he's talking about, look, in the conversation, they definitely talked about affordable housing. They talked about providing jobs and him trying to do factories in certain places to make clothes. And these are all good things.
I mean, sure. Yeah. And those are the most basic tenets of political stuff I've ever heard in my life.
No, I'm just saying.
It's like running for president of your class and being like, I'm going to get new sodas in the soda machine and pizza's available every day. I mean, it's the most basic. I appreciate it, but I mean.
Look, even when you bust it down, the reason we dislike Trump isn't necessarily about him trying to get jobs and keep the market healthy. Like you said, those are the basic things that you're supposed to be doing, right? And it works out for Republicans a lot because most of the people that control the money in America are Republicans. So the money flows when there's a Republican president because they cut them deals on the other side. But Kanye is probably hoping to try that.
Here's some pieces of him talking about his support for Trump and the MAGA hat.
forefathers have already fought the fight. So it's not a fight when I put the hat on. It's simply my opinion and its next subject.
Fair enough. There is part of you that is liberal.
I'm the most liberal. Well, they wouldn't come to Wyoming. They'd rather be with no self-service and, in the valley, just driving to like an eighth meeting a day.
I just know that he said, I'm the most liberal, which is like when Trump says he's the least racist. The most liberal is not wearing a MAGA hat. I know what you're trying to say. I know the irony you're working with here, but it just reminds me so much of Trump being like, racist? I'm the least racist person in the world.
Here's another piece.
I'm saying there's a fight going on, and that's why you found yourself in the middle of that, is because there's a lot of people on the left side who you call liberals, who you inspire and you've given us greatness. And I know that that's not why you do it, and I know it's...
I am a liberal. I'm a 200%er. I understand. My wife does something that makes me mad. I'm like, but I understand your perspective of why you did it.
Right.
But it still makes me mad. The issue is communication. For people to mute themselves is what I thought was the harshest thing to say. If you're black, don't talk to this person. No, I'm gonna talk to everybody as long as I got air in my lungs. Like, I'm gonna go pull up, say, hey, Putin, how you doing? Hey, Kim Jong-un, how you doing? Hey, anybody, I will have a conversation with anyone.
Update, Kanye is more willing to talk to Putin and Kim Jong-un than his old friend Ebro. This is sad. He's not willing to stop by here. He's willing to go see Kim Jong-un.
I haven't reached out to Kanye. Maybe they've reached out to Kanye.
It's true.
Well, I mean, the problem, I would, and shout out to Zane Lowe and Apple Music if you want to check the whole conversation. I think it's even on Apple Music's YouTube or Apple's YouTube, whatever. It just came out. Okay. I am the type of person, once you are nonsensical and you're just figuring it out, I can't sit down with you and watch you just bounce around and figure it out about serious topics. I feel like that's dangerous. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
it's not a
100%.
game to me. And I feel like the reason I was so upset with Kanye was because he started to play around and try to venture into places that he wasn't fully informed.
Right.
And you don't know what you're doing. The whole trying to use the MAGA hat as some sort of marketing move and polarizing move to create a thing, I just looked at it as dangerous. And I thought he was validating things that flew in the face of, things that my father and people who have provided and his mother and people who provided a path for us to make sure that black people had a level of respect, right? Because the MAGA hat, we all know, is aligned with white supremacy and white supremacist ideals.
Agreed.
You can try to nuance it and mince it and do whatever you want to do with it, but that's what we know. The people who are antagonizing people, that's what they're doing with that hat.
Facts.
And I'll even take it a step further. Even Kanye, when you hear him talk, none of this is about policy. It's all about antagonizing individuals. It's all about, you can't tell me and I can't tell, and I'm going to do what I want to do. It's all of you're like, what are you talking about, man?
It's all about being a provocateur, unfortunately. That's part of it, too. He likes...
But you're playing with people's lives.
Play the other clip about him saying he's the greatest, whatever. So this is a person who is finding their spiritual path, right? They're searching for their, divine path. And in the meantime, still struggling with this type of ego.
I am undoubtedly, the greatest human artist of all time. It's just not even a question anymore at this point. It's just a fact.
That is not a fact. What you just said was not a fact.
Definitely not humble.
And definitely not humble. And the idea that you were, how hard are you really working on this spiritual path if you would say that out loud? Right. It's not, you can say that you're a good artist and you're confident in your work. That's fine. Unquestionably the greatest artist of all time, it's not even a fact. Yeah. It's not even a question.
Yeah.
So if he was to look, I don't know, so many people that you could look in the face. Stevie Wonder. I mean, 1 million people.
That one, the one you just clicked on, the second one. Nah, that one right there. And then this is his, once again, as you're finding your spiritual path and Kanye is on that journey, right? He's still dealing with the reality that he had people around him that went on to shine that he didn't want to support.
I think more about Bernard Arnault than I think about Drake, because he might have thought he got culture by taking Virgil, but it's like, no, now you're having to pilfer from my territory.
How did that make you feel at the fashion show?
I felt bad. I felt like it was supposed to be me. I was the Louis Vuitton Don. People still call me the Louis Vuitton Don when I'm walking down the street. And then out of anybody that they could have chose, they got one of the best men for my wedding. What I love about when I hugged Virgil is he showed me we're all playing on the same court, and he went and ran that field goal. He ran that touchdown in for us all.
What sport is he talking about?
You can't run a field goal, and it's not on a court. But anyways,
you see what I'm saying? So he still obviously holds some pain from the fact that his best friend and was his territory. He saw his friend, who was the best man at his wedding, as his territory when Virgil went to work for Louis Vuitton.
And by the way, I can understand, let's just be real, because I'm a jealous person myself, and I understand it. I would understand the person who's been sort of under you and working for you and with you, getting to go do a job with Louis Vuitton that you would always...
Which is your dream job.
Which is your dream. I get why that would hurt. That is a human emotion. That makes sense. But the way it's expressed and in the mix of where he's finding the spirit, you would hope that if you're finding the spirituality, you would also find a way of dealing with those feelings and being happy for your man.
Which I think he ultimately is, but
On some level, yeah.
And I think that's what we're seeing with Kanye, which is why people love him so much, Laura, is because we are watching somebody become a better human, hopefully. That's what he's trying to do. I think ultimately that's what he's trying, and we're not going to agree with everything that he does.
We're just living,
and we're not
going to
knock all the music.
No, but living through it in real time with someone, it's hard to live. It's hard to live through someone's human growth who you know personally and care about over real time. He's not our friend. He's not my friend. I don't know him in real life. Watching his entire human growth process play out publicly, this could take years and years.
Of course. And I'm going to tell you one of the most, I don't know where it came out, Laura. Where did it come out that he wanted Kim to dress different and be less sexual? Where did that come out?
It was a clip that was floating around. I'm not sure if it was on the clip of the Kardashians. Yeah. I'm assuming it was. But yeah, he was basically wanting her to cover up, and she was like, just because you're going on your spiritual journey, let me do me.
I feel like that's something that we'll see more of. In this conversation on Apple Music with Zane Lowe, he says he had a porn addiction.
Yes.
Okay? You married and had children, 3 children with a woman who is known because of a sex tape, which is sort of like a porn.
And being overly sexual.
And sex being a part of the whole thing. And now you're changing, and she's like, yo, my man, check this out.
Right.
That's a real struggle that I know men deal with regard to when they are sexual with their girlfriend, and it's all nasty and sexy and freaky. Babies come, and now you look at her as a mom. You don't want the nasty, sexy, freaky, but she still wants to be like it was because she needs that validation, that sexual validation. Mm-hmm. And now he's on, and he went a step further than most dudes, which is now he's like a born-again Christian with it.
Yeah.
He even said that he told people they couldn't have premarital sex when they was working on the album. People that was working on the album, he was like, yo, you shouldn't be having sex. You shouldn't be having premarital sex.
Are you Kanye West?
Yes.
Play it.
This journey of this album, there was times where I was asking people to fast during the album. I was asking people to, this is gonna be radical, what I'm about to say. I know this is, we can look at it, the edit. There's times where I was asking people to not have premarital sex while they were working on the album. Mm-hmm. I know that's one for the shade room. Be like, what you mean don't have premarital sex? You better turn that Meg Thee Stallion on right now. There's times where I went to people that were working on other projects and said, could you just work and focus on this? I mean, it's known when people pray together, families that pray together, stay together. When people pray together and fast together, the power is increased.
And he's not wrong. I'm just saying, he's about to enter a space in dealing with the reality of what his life is that he's created for himself and how he's going to navigate that. I heard a rumor yesterday. Somebody said to me, man, the rumor is out that they say Kanye and Kim live separately.
Are they going full Trump?
During like this album process and what was going on. I don't know if it was permanent. I don't know if...
I mean, it could just be him living somewhere else while working on the album.
Could be.
No.
Like I just said earlier, that clip summed it up. The idea of someone as confused as Kanye giving me life, being like, what you should do is fast. What you should do is... The man is completely lost. Come back to me when you figured out who you are and you want to give advice. I can't. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Or
I
how
don't
about
have
this?
anything else
That's
to
your
say.
personal journey.
Yeah, like
Don't force that on me.
Listen, anyone who wants to follow Ye, go have a good time. Go wait out when he gets.
But maybe maybe they just want to be spectators on this journey to learn from it, right? Because there is that side of it. There are people who are just gonna.
They're just hype bees.
No,
They're
but
just
there are
waiting
people
for the new Yeezys.
like I'll be honest. Once again, completely disagree with how he's handled things. He's given us a lot of great music, and I've known him a long time. I'm just watching now.
I don't think he's being a bad
I want to
person,
see.
by
I
the
want
way.
to see where. I'm hoping this lands in a healthy place, and I hope he lands this right in a balanced, healthy fashion, right? But what I hear, and you can even with the Tyrese interview that we just did, which you can go look at, where Tyrese starts praying in the studio. We did a whole prayer, and Tyrese is talking about all his demons and things he was dealing with. Individuals that are at this stage are there's a hole, right? They feel unfulfilled with the life that they have. They feel unfulfilled with the things that
as many people do.
As many people do. And so they're searching to try to fulfill themselves and try to find balance and try to find a new purpose, a new inspiration, a new, you know what I mean? And then there's people who are, and Kanye said it in this conversation on Apple Music with Zane Lowe, is he was addicted to inspiration. Said he was addicted to porn. Do you have the addicted to porn? He was addicted to porn, and he was addicted to inspiration, and porn was the inspiration, which is why he was talking about bleached booty holes. You know what I'm saying? But once again, I go back to his wife and the dynamics of their relationship. The dynamics of him and Amber's relationship was all sexuality, sex. And he was in that space, and now he's trying to reconcile that.
No, and to his credit, he's trying to do it through ways that are healthier than other things you could use to try to fulfill yourself.
Right.
And I appreciate that. I'm not mad at him. I don't think he's being a bad person. I don't. I know it sounds like I hate him. I don't. I'm just not interested in following along with you.
Well, and also what you're offended by, which there's a lot of artists that we know. This is one of the things that irritates me about this moment, is he's putting out this album, Jesus is King, and people are calling it a gospel album, right? There has been phenomenal hip-hop records, albums, songs, artists that have given us their spiritual journey through music without imposing their opinion on the culture or everyone else, right? We've heard there's been spirituality and Bible talk in hip hop forever. Quran talk, everything is in there. Spirituality is a part of it. And I get irritated that people are acting like this is something new.
Oh, there's that too, yes. It's just...
And I get irritated that Kanye thinks he's doing something that hasn't been done before. Because it has. And there's artists who are legit, Bible-thumping Christians that are out here doing that work and have been doing it, right? It's not something new. It's actually very popular, which, is why a lot of people...
Christianity's popular in America?
Well, and Christian rap is popular. And religious hip-hop is popular. You know what I'm saying? So I think, and that's why people don't really love hearing where Kanye West is because it feels convenient. It goes back to the street quote, and I don't know who started the quote. It's Streets. Streets started it. Streets.
What's the quote?
If you're scared, go to church. I've been hearing that my whole life. You don't walk down a path, it went too far for you, got scared, people run back to the church. A lot of people, they go down criminal paths, sexual predator paths, drug addiction paths, whatever, and then they jump and they go the complete other way and start using the church as their cover.
And and it's not always a cover. It's also sometimes needed for them to find health and well-being. So I appreciate that. It's just I find that when those journeys are pure, you're not throwing them in everyone else's face. You're doing it for yourself.
I agree.
That's all.
And you're not doing it to sell an album and T-shirts and merch, which is what Laura always rolls her eyes
That's
at.
the part that's
Thank you.
different.